Marquina Shirley. Marquina Shirley. If you're ready, I am.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Shirley is in front of Your Honor on case number 17 CR 2404 for a petition for violation of probation. The petition indicates that the defendant entered a plea of guilty to the offense of arson in the first degree on February 21st of 2019 and was sentenced under the First Offender Act to 7 years to serve 6 months in custody. This is the defendant's second violation of probation. The petition alleges that the defendant has violated the criminal laws of the state of Georgia on 2 occasions, the first being June 30th of 2024 in East Point, Georgia, when the defendant was arrested for the offense of willful obstruction, and the second being from July 16th of 2024, when the defendant was convicted for battery in Fulton County State Court. As a condition of that sentence, the defendant was instructed to have a mental health evaluation and comply with any treatment. Your Honor, this is the defendant's second violation of probation. The first violation of probation, the defendant had quite a lengthy stay in a mental health facility. As you can tell from the Fulton County the petition regarding the Fulton County conviction, the defendant seems to still have an ongoing mental health concern, and that is my primary concern as well. I will leave it up to Mr. Richardson to provide the court with some mitigation, but the state's recommendation is to revoke 90 days and reinstate. That being said, I do have concerns about the defendant's mental health status. But at this point in time, Mr. Richardson has indicated to me that she has stable housing, and that she has received, or at least reached a point in her mental health that treatment plan that she has stabilized more than she was at the prior probation revocation. So that is why the state's recommendation is so low, considering the revocation the first time around was approximately 600 days revoked.
All right, go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. And I think Ms. Dockerford's presentation is pretty accurate as well. A little bit further context. In that last revocation, Ms. Shirley was found incompetent, and that was what dragged that out, we believe. A little further context is that since she was released on that probation back in 2021, she completed all of the other conditions for her probation during that period of time. She went to a non-reporting status in 2022, February, I believe it's February 2022. Her probation and her first offender expires in or set to expire in September of next year. Right, so she's relatively close to the finish line in that regard. Our concern with the custodial portion of time here is that Ms. Shirley does have stable housing. Our social workers have been out to see her, and we don't feel that competency is going to be an issue at this point. But the longer that she remains in custody, it's not that the housing becomes jeopardized in the traditional sense. She has a voucher. She's on a program that gives her stable housing. It's more along the lines of like making sure that she's able to come back, because the longer a home is not there, the more vulnerable it becomes to like squatters, other people coming in. We don't want to disrupt her stability. She seems to generally be in a stable and good place right now, and we just don't want her that to potentially deteriorate as if she spends another 60 days or so in DeKalb County Jail. So we would ask that the probation be reinstated, but that the remaining portion of the custodial time be reduced to the time served, and she be allowed to finish out her first offender, Your Honor.
What's the bond on the 24 CR case in Fulton?
Your Honor, I showed that was actually a guilty plea in Fulton, that case has already been closed out. Unfortunately, I was unable to get a certified copy of the conviction, but I did request one.
So your position is her time is done?
On the Fulton County case, Judge, yes.
The custodial portion is done, Your Honor. My understanding is that it's a 12-month probation plea. In talking to Ms. Shirley, that it seems to be uh, again where there were potential mitigating circumstances there as well. Ms. Shirley contends that this was a self-defense case, but the issue being that a capacity to resolve it, then
Oh, okay,
try to
this
move
is the
forward.
self-defense you're talking about.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I follow the recommendation.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I apologize, Judge, just to clarify the state's recommendation or the reduced to time served?
I thought you said, okay, I'm sorry, I'm confused. I thought you said 90 days.
Yes, Your Honor, that's the state's recommendation.
I'm sorry, Mr. Richardson,
No,
what would you
we
have
were
said?
asking that the custodial portion be reduced to time served. Again, so that she can get back out there, make sure that her housing is still stable, these kinds of things.
So basically, is that what you're saying, 30 days?
Yes, Your Honor. She's been, I believe, 27, or this might be the 28th day. And so 30 days reduced to time served would be our request.
For probation, for us, is she following the mental health portion for probation? For DeKalb?
Miss Shirley was when she was on active supervision, but was currently on unsupervised probation in DeKalb.
Okay, let me swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give to the court is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, so Officer Burdett, you're saying that when she was supervised, she was following it?
Yes, she was compliant with all the conditions. That's why she was allowed to go on unsupervised probation.
And what were the conditions for her?
Community service and complying with treatment since she was on a mental health caseload.
Is she on a mental health caseload now, Mr. Richardson?
Burdett, currently, yes.
No, I'm saying she has a caseload where? You said mental
She's
health.
on a mental health caseload currently, but it's
What I meant is she required to do something related to her mental health currently? And what is it?
not on unsupervised probation. No, she is not.
If she was on supervised probation, what would you be doing?
Verifying that she's
particular
compliant with
medication
her
she's taking, or groups or therapy that she needs to be going to?
Yes, verifying that she is compliant with any recommended treatment.
Do we do if I were to place her back on supervised, what would be the recommended treatment?
She will have to go get an evaluation and follow that recommended treatment from a psychiatrist.
All right, let's do that. So I'll reduce it to the time that you serve, but she needs to go back on supervised. Now, if it turns out that, because I see that looks like in Folsom, she has completed mental health there and following recommended treatment.
That was the sentence. They sentenced her to do that.
Right.
With the misdemeanor.
Right. And so what I'm asking you is to follow up with that as well. And so because I'm assuming she's not gonna, will you be over that since does she reside in DeKalb or she resides in Fulton? Because
the last address I have is an Atlanta address. I don't know. Once they're on unsupervised probation, they don't have to update their address. So I would need to get her new address. But we don't keep up with misdemeanor probation. I wouldn't have access to her misdemeanor case.
Got it. And so what happened in Fulton, is that a misdemeanor? It says
it's a misdemeanor.
It's a misdemeanor. Okay. So with regard to, and that was 12 months. Okay. Okay, so the likelihood is that she resides in Fulton. And so if you're on misdemeanor probation and felony probation, do you all handle it somehow together, or does she report just
No.
both places?
She will have to report both places.
Okay. All right, so I want the mental health evaluation follow-up treatment.
Also,
That's
could
gonna
the
be-
attorney provide a new address for Ms. Shirley, please?
Do you have it, Mr. Richardson?
Yes, I do. Yes, I
All
can
right.
send that over to you.
So condition
if you-
is that once she provides her new information, is that she submits to mental health evaluation and follow treatment, and that she's now on supervised probation for the 12 months.
Yes, sir. If Officer Burdett, if we can ask Ms. Davis to put her email address or send it to me in the chat, then I can send her address to you straight away.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's the order of the court.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And we keep it working like Oouchie the boss. We tryna catch up like we hit us a fault. We gotta win, ain't taking no loss.